Hello, this is Catherine Watkin of Selling from the Heart and founder of the Business from the Heart membership. And this week I'm doing some member spotlights to highlight some of our wonderful members, affectionately known as Hearties. And today I'm speaking to Clare Bassett of Yoga with Clare. So Clare, do you want to start by just introducing yourself and your business and what you offer?
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Catherine. My name is Clare Bassett, and I help women who love yoga and crave going deeper to become excellent yoga and meditation teachers so they can feel centered and grounded and they can share what they love with the world.
And you teach full yoga teacher training courses, and you also teach pregnancy yoga to already qualified yoga teachers. And you teach meditation courses. You've got a whole range of different things you help people with. What was the main reason that you decided to join the membership when you did join it?
So when I've had so much experience teaching, my background is I was an English language teacher. So I taught English as a foreign language and I did lots of different things, but teaching's been something I get pulled back into being the trainer. When I did my own yoga teacher training, I was already training people to be English teachers. And I started very quickly to get involved with yoga teacher training with my yoga teacher. I had a lot of support then from working with yoga studios and developing courses for people who wanted to teach meditation or teach yoga or pregnancy yoga or those different specialities. But I didn't have any business skills. So I came from an arts degree. I've done English and philosophy in college, and I've done lots of different things and studied a lot, but never learned like really basic things. And so marketing, sales, it felt really scary to me, actually. It's feeling better now, but even for going out and teaching yoga classes when it was, low prices, I would struggle with. I was up from the school of put up a poster in the local community centre, which is nothing wrong with that, but that's kind of, and leave your phone number and hope for the best. That was as much as I knew.
Yeah, and actually what you're describing there is very common for people who come to join the membership. I often say, you've got all of that experience, your experience teaching, and then the skills and knowledge you have as a yoga teacher. But then in order to have a business, you've got this next phase, which is learning to think like a marketer, learning to think like somebody who's comfortable making sales. It's a piece that's often missing for people, and people don't always realize it's a gap. They sort of feel like that gap's going to fill itself. And what you're saying is you realize that gap was not going to fill itself. And now here you were actually selling your own yoga courses rather than under the umbrella of somebody else or through other yoga schools. And it was like you needed to fill those gaps.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a sort of assumption that business is going to be natural or easy, or we should know how to do the things, or you should be able to sell it. But it's a whole skill set, and you can learn it, and you can get support with that and fast track rather than just struggling along and trying to figure it out by yourself.
Yeah. And even though I teach business, I'm a business mentor, I also learned this originally. I learned this through my teachers and mentors. So it isn't true that we just somehow know it. We do have to commit to learning it. And what would you say changed for you in your business as a result of being in the membership?
Yeah, so there's quite a lot actually, but I'm going to start with this kind of mindset thing of sales. I would have been very uncomfortable selling my courses to people. And I would have an assumption when I started, especially with courses like yoga teacher training, where there is like quite a big investment of money and time. My assumption would be, oh, people are going to struggle with this. And it's really, when I look at it logically, it's like I was very happy to give the money to get the training myself. I know what it's worth. It's really valuable. But there was a kind of a gap there where I felt like really uncomfortable being able to like actually tell people how much the courses cost, or, follow up with people. So people would ask me about things and I would nearly put them off.
Yeah. What's changed for you as a result of having that mindset shift?
So now I'm much more comfortable and confident with just telling people, and they can make a decision for themselves. I'm not pushy. I'm not trying to make anybody do anything they don't want to do, but I'll just let them know. I've also found that sometimes I like before I might have thought somebody was saying no, sometimes what they're saying is they just need more information or they've misunderstood something. So I'm much better at clarifying things. I'll give you an example. There was a girl who was interested in yoga teacher training, and she was sending me messages and I was replying. And then she said that she didn't think she could afford it, and the time and the money, and that it was too much every weekend. And I was thinking, it's not every weekend. And before I might have been like, oh, she doesn't want, just run away. Like she said, no, leave her alone. But this time I just said, can I just clarify with you, like, what you mean every weekend? And she was like, yeah, training every weekend. Like, I've got small kids. And I was like, no, it's once a month, And I clarified the payment plan, the kind of time commitment. And now she's on the course, and she told me that she's in love with it and she's really happy and she's really enjoying it. I know that previous to joining the Hearties, I probably would have lost that student. I would have let it, and she would have gone and done something else or gone with a different teacher. Yeah, so it's really small things, but they make a big difference.
And of course, you're also celebrating a milestone because you've just filled and run your first full yoga teacher training course. And that's something you've been putting off for a little while. And I know you've said that the membership helped you to do that. Do you want to say a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so it's like dreams coming true for me, really, because I've worked for a lot of yoga studios and, taught the main bulk of the full course as a 200-hour yoga teacher training. But to run my own myself and sell it, this is the very first time I've done that. And it's a little bit more expensive as well than the specialist training courses. So even the fact that I've done that, like it is really huge. And the membership did help, because the mindset stuff and realizing as well the things that were holding me back. So we all have kind of like blind spots, and I hadn't really realized that I wasn't doing that because I was a bit scared to ask people for that much money and to sort of take that responsibility and everything. And it was by coming into the group and sort of saying, I don't introduce myself as a yoga teacher anymore. I think, Catherine, when I met you, I was like, I'm a yoga teacher and I do a bit of Reiki and I do a bit of all sorts of different things. Like now I kind of see myself, no, I'm a yoga teacher trainer. Like that's what I do. And I've really stepped much more into that. The group is great because you put in a little comment and people will answer you, or you'll say something, or we have those coaching and you'll say something and then you get the feedback and it's those blind spots get revealed.
Yeah. And I love that, because I know I think when you joined the membership, you came with all of this experience of teaching yoga, but now you were doing more under your own name. And that was the bit where all the business things came in and the stuff around sales comes up and the beliefs that you have. And I do remember you posting in the group, I think you came in and said, it wasn't exactly this, but something like, I've had an inquiry of somebody who's interested in my yoga teacher training, but I'm not sure if now is the right time. Maybe I should do it later to give myself more time. And I remember people jumping in and saying, no, if you've got somebody, just go for it. And you did, you went for it. You didn't have a long window to fill that course. So I know you didn't have all the numbers that you would have wanted because you had quite a short time frame, but you were like, no, I've got one person. I'm going to get more people and this is going to happen. And that's what you've just done, just started it. So it was amazing.
It was amazing, but it was also you, Catherine, because I had that inquiry from that lady and then another lady, and sometimes the universe is kind of behind you. But I had said like, oh, these inquiries and like, will I, won't I? And you'd sort of said, get them to pay the deposit. Like, are they real? And once I had one person pay the deposit, I was like, okay, now this is like, it's gone from a theory to actual thing, real thing happening.
Yeah. And then you just started filling more places from there. And you see, now you've done that. Your decision now to schedule the next day and give yourself a good runway, you can fill that next one, because a lot of the blocks and beliefs that were getting in the way have dissolved through doing this one. So that's amazing. I know also you actually did join the membership for a period of time originally, and then you left again, and then you had a break without it. And I know you told me that one of the reasons that you left was feeling that you didn't have time to really make the most of everything that was provided. What was the reason you decided to come back? Because a lot of people, when they join a program, if that program isn't quite right for them, they don't normally come back. They normally go and find the next teacher or mentor who's right. Now, actually, we do have quite a lot of members who do come back, but I'm interested in your perspective. What was it that caused you to come back after having decided to leave?
Yeah, so when I was in the membership the first time, I was following the programs and I was doing my vision and planning and I was following the techniques and the follow-up emails. And I had a beautiful group of pregnancy yoga teachers who I got through just following the advice and using the systems that you teach. And they're like still my friends. So they're like my ideal clients. And I know there's lots of different ways to get people to buy things or to get people into your courses. But I felt like that's what I want, you know, that high standards. The group are lovely as well, like the other people I met in the Hearties. Yeah, so I think that that's really it. It's that having that relationship with your clients that you feel really authentic and you feel really genuine and that they feel that connection as well. And that's selling in that way. It's not just the exchange of like, I'll take your money and I'll give you something. It's like you're creating something beyond that. That makes sense.
Yeah. So while you decided to stop having support in your business for a while, when you wanted support again, you came back to this membership because it gives you that. It's much more client led, isn't it? I'm obsessed with marketing and I'm very, very results focused, but I'm never results focused at the expense of the human. It's like that phrase. There's a book of this name. I think it's People Over Profit. And it's that building a business where you're putting your people first and you're being authentic and you're being true to yourself. And it's not just let me put bums on seats at any cost, no matter what experience they're going to have. So
Yeah.
that's amazing.
And you know that like expression, the tire kickers. I remember hearing that from other business coach and thinking, I don't like that at all. Like if somebody wants to ask you something, they want to know. So I love that philosophy of like, if somebody comes and says, well, somebody actually emailed me and said, this was the pregnancy yoga training, your course is more expensive than this other course. And, you know, why should I pick you? And I answered her really honestly, like, I don't know that much about their course. You can ask them about their course. This is my course. This is what I do. And she disappeared for ages. And then she came back and did it with me a year later. I just felt like that was your voice nearly, you know, like she's not a tire kicker.
Yeah. This is a human being and there's a reason she's asking you the question. And it's because she's drawn to you in some way.
Yeah.
And very often, you know, it's like in the sales process, when you referred to earlier on how you used to back off because you'd assume that somebody was a no. Sometimes they're just, what they're really saying is, I'm interested, but reassure me, please. And that's what they want. They want that little bit of extra attention and reassurance. Just to wrap up, what would you say if you could take any piece of advice or any teaching or any learning that you've had from the membership and you could pass that on to another business owner so that they could take value from it, what would it be?
That don't be afraid to tell people what you do and to offer your services and to let them decide.
Yeah. And of course, it's more than that as well, isn't it? Because I think what I've heard you talk about here today is that you now hold a confident space for people who want to explore training with you. You're not shying away, you're not hiding, you're not making stories up about what they're really thinking. You're holding a really confident space and you're available to help them with their questions, their concerns, and help them explore it. Okay, beautiful. So if anyone wants to find out more about Yoga with Clare, whether they're an existing yoga teacher and they want to add pregnancy yoga or meditation to their toolkit, or whether it's somebody who just loves yoga and wants to enhance their life by becoming a yoga teacher, how can people find out more about you?
So the best way to find out more about me is to get on my website, which is www.yogawithclare.com.
Fantastic. And I'll make sure somewhere, wherever you're watching this, because this will probably go in a number of places. If anyone's watching, I'll put the link up somewhere near. So that's yogawithclare.com, and you can go and find out about her yoga teacher training courses, whether you're exploring it or whether you're a qualified yoga teacher. So thank you so much for your time and for sharing your experience in the membership, Clare.
Thank you so much, Catherine.